You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
It's a big relief that thousands of us are now able to concentrate on other things.
Retired state workers are relieved their state-sponsored health plan will continue to cover their doctors. But what about plans at the state capitol to make sure this turmoil doesn't happen again? Good evening, I'm Jessica Coons.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. Just 2 days ago, we told you Aetna and Carle announced a pending deal. And right before that announcement, the same day, 2 lawmakers filed bills. They aim to make sure retirees don't have to fear choosing between losing their doctor or losing their state benefits ever again. Our Target 3 investigative reporter Renee Cooper has been pushing the state, Aetna, and Carle for answers for months. So, Renee, the question is, does the deal change the conversation around the new legislation?
Well, Jennifer, Senator Chapin Rose and Representative Mike Marin both represent areas where Carle is the major provider for roughly 11,000 retirees. Now, Carle's 5-year deal with Aetna to keep seeing them solved the most immediate issue. But retirees still want more than one plan option, and they want input when the state chooses them. Both of those require legislation.
People deserve choice. What happened here, where you have a package that works for some people but not all people, isn't right.
So if that means tightening regulations in a certain area that would prevent something like this from happening, then absolutely.
Representative Mike Marin filed the first bill to be debated during veto session in 2 weeks. It would mandate the Illinois Department of Central Management Services, or CMS, offer at least 2 health insurance plans to choose from. Senator Chapin Rose announced legislation the same day. Instead of the state contracting more options, it would offer retirees a monthly voucher.
Let them pick whatever plan's best for them.
For the last 30 years, I've just pushed the button that says keep the existing plan.
John Marlin is the president of the University of Illinois chapter of the State Annuitants Association. He's also a retiree, and with Carle and Aetna in agreement, he's enrolling again. He says the deal should also postpone legislation.
This is extremely complicated when you look at all the options and nuances. So having time to look into what CMS did to make its unfortunate decision, as well as evaluate the options.
Senator Rose says he doesn't plan to push the bill through in the next month.
The idea was to force the conversation in veto session.
There needs to be a legislative response, but the response that he's proposed won't guarantee that they keep their providers, so it needs to go further.
Cindy Cunningham is running against Marin for a state house seat. Her career has been in community-based services for seniors.
I think we just need to amend the contracts that the state has with these insurance companies. And so one of the things that the insurance companies would need to prove is that they contract with all willing and qualified providers rather than just providing an adequate network. And adequate is not well defined in the rules.
The bill that we introduced is a starting process.
I asked Marin if bill discussions include holding health insurers and providers accountable to fair negotiations or even require contracts between a state-sponsored plan and an essential provider like Carle.
I think that's part of the motivation for the hearings.
CMS is scheduled to testify in front of lawmakers on November 15th. When I asked Rose if additional accountability legislation should be considered, he said the state agency should have verified Aetna's doctor network.
Now, they're going to have a hearing in a couple weeks, and this will be an issue, I promise you.
Now, I asked Marin last week if the state cutting plan options down to 1 is an unlawful diminishing of benefits under the state constitution. He said that was worth looking into, and today, Rose, who's an attorney, said he believes it is, and Cunningham agreed with that. I got into specifics of the 2 proposed bills today as well. I'm going to have more of that over on our website for you under the Target 3 tab. Rose says passing legislation to protect retiree benefits should be attainable by the end of spring session. Back to you.
All right, Renee, thank you, as always. The November 15th hearing with CMS is scheduled for 9 a.m. It's expected to last about 2 or 3 hours. Marin says he'll also be introducing a resolution for a separate House committee hearing during veto session. He says the plan is to bring Aetna and Carle to the table alongside CMS and allow time for retiree testimony as well.
We have a